Hello folks and welcome to Let's Give It a Shot. My name's Colonel DeFrog and you're probably wondering what we're giving a shot today. Well, it occurs to me that previously on Let's Give It a Shot, we had taken a look at a space game and a shooter. So I figured, well, I had this game called Shattered Horizon. I believe someone's done something very, very terrible to the moon up there. Well, that's actually the point of this game. It's made by Future Mark Studios, who you may know better as a benchmarking studio. And they went ahead and created a game where the concept is, what is about a first-person multiplayer shooter where you take away the floor, and in fact all gravity. Well, you set it in space, and you get this engaging and sadly no longer really played game. This is not one of those let's give it a shot where I'm taking a look at something that, I just found. I keep this on my computer. I absolutely adore this game. I love the concept of it. I think it's a great concept, and I have a lot of fun playing this game. What's more, I actually find it a useful utility tool to have on my PC. But, so, the game, right. It's actually got an interesting little storyline that, of course, it being a multiplayer shooter, no one really bothers with. But the conceit of this game is that there was a very large explosion on the moon. You can see what it did right there, and it went ahead and threw a bunch of moon rock and went ahead and closed off a bunch of orbits to humanity. And no one knows exactly how it happened. It had something to do, it's believed, with mining on the moon, or maybe some high-energy experiments, or, something. Who cares, really? It just happened, and that's all that matters. And this is the aftermath. This is one of the levels that's a little bit closer to the moon. It's called Flipside, and it's a wonderful level for going ahead and demoing this game, because its concept, and in fact the game's concept, is because it is zero gravity and, it really doesn't much matter, you can go like this, well, there's ground beneath me, or I can just flip like this and suddenly it's a ceiling. Those of you who have read Ender's Game or, possibly watched the movie now, might know a bit about what I'm talking about. Enemy gates down, all that kind of stuff. For a while, I believe that was a watchword in the community when it was still alive. But, yeah, the concept is that, there's a bunch of debris in space, and, that's actually kind of a thing that I like. There's a wonderful anime called Planetes that you should totally check out if you're into that sort of thing that's hard sci-fi and about collecting of space debris and such. But this is rather a bit more. One of the reasons I bring up Planetes is because there was like a small eruption on the moon that sent a bunch of moon dust and rocks flying high into the sky, and it would have maybe been like half an arc second worth of on the moon. Probably larger than that, but yeah, it didn't blow off the moon's face like that. The actual, setup here is, wildly unscientific. This is not what you'd probably get if the moon blew up. I shudder to think of exactly what would happen. But the game, right. So the idea is that because you are in free, zero-gravity flight, free-fall, semantics, really, at this point, and not important to this game, you can fly and fight however you want to. And, in fact, the interesting part about this game is using the really odd movement and not quite intuitive movement to figure it out. As I say, the idea of mastery being fun is a big thing for me, and this game gets into it. Whoa. But, you can go ahead and land on things, but frankly, you're probably not going to be having as much fun if you don't take advantage of the whole flying around thing. Anyway, so, back into the plot. So, yeah, the moon blows up, essentially traps a bunch of people into space, and, whoa, that is the two factions. The yellow is the Moon Miners Coalition, and it's, like it sounds, a bunch of well, not exactly blue-collar workers. I mean, they're working in space, so, certain amount of training and everything is required, but they were on the moon, or worked to support that kind of thing, and they're trying to survive. And the other group is the ISA, the Blues, who I am playing as, and they are essentially a bunch of scientists and NASA astronauts, that kind of thing, who were up on the ISS, and they got stuck in space because they couldn't go ahead and fly down because of the heavy debris load in the area. And it's their job to figure out what the heck happened and see if there's anything that can be done to fix it. And so both sides, one of the few things that got up to them in the story, such as it was a couple of crates of assault rifles. In the original game, because this is actually the updated version, the original game had an assault rifle. It was the only weapon in the game. It was a hit-scan gun. And it also had a grenade launcher under it and a bayonet. And, that's how you played. The movement was the thing. It apparently was a lot of fun. I never got to play it when it was like that. I got it in this state, which is essentially the second build. I might be using an assault rifle right now, but trust me when I say there are more weapons in the game. I will go ahead and show them to you. Instead of a bayonet, we have this, which is the Moon Miner's pick. You rip open a person's spacesuit and they die horribly. It's a one-shot kill, but unlike, say, your knives in Call of Duty, it takes a little bit more skill to get it to work because, one, it swings very slowly, and two, you're flying. At least if you're doing it right. In combat, there are two areas that are essentially a one-hit kill. They are the headshot, which you saw me get a little bit earlier there. Pure luck, I assure you. And the tank shot, which is on the back, and you'll probably not see me get because I'm not very good at this game. There's an explosion there, and essentially it's the tank for all your propellant, and that's the reason why it's a one-hit kill. But if someone attacks you from behind and they hit the tank, boom, tank shot, it's oh so wonderful. The other thing is, oh, there you go, tank shot. That's how it's done. And that's actually considered the higher skill one to get because you have to get around behind someone. Now, beyond that, this game's kind of interesting in the way that it uses grenades. You have 6 of them, and you have unlimited ammo for your weapon, but, it does need to be reloaded every once in a while. But considering the game, they decided, I guess, that trying to manage a certain amount of ammo would, well, not make it as fun, so you just get as much as you need in whatever size the clip is for your thing. You also have a pistol, which essentially ends up as the game's answer to, like, a semi-auto battle rifle or whatever. It's actually really quite effective if you use it right. It's got a 20-round clip, deadly thing. But yeah, grenades. So you get a certain amount of them, right? And you have multiple different grenade types. Now, the trick is that not a single one of them is lethal. And there you go. Someone killed me with an SMG, like you can see. But yeah, the different grenade types are this MPR, which I'm going to show you, and you set how far the grenade goes out, and that's a large part of figuring it out. You got a grenade pistol now instead of, underslung. But the MPR, if I can get it to work, bursts in a radius and it sends people flying. And I am having a great deal of trouble getting this right. Well, you could kind of see it there, but yeah, if it happens, you go, flipping around, and I've only got one left. The next one is ice, which is pretty much like it sounds. It is the equivalent to a smoke grenade. Like that. Now, you can see the jets flare through it, but you can also go ahead and fly in and just kind of do your thing, and it's a good way to confuse things. The other ones are pulse, which, as I don't have any more grenades to work with, and I haven't been able to find someone to kill me so I can show you more of them. Pulse is a recon grenade, essentially. It, you go ahead and it shows up any enemies that are within its explosion radius, which can be quite useful, especially when you're actually playing with people. Oh, so close. I will get you! Oh, guess I'm not going to get it to smack him in the face. Oh, right, I wanted to die there. Oh, well. There we go. Yeah, that's the close combat kind of fighting that you'll see in this game. But yeah, the pulse grenade is a recon grenade. It's useful when you're with other people. Decoy is essentially the opposite. It, puts a decoy onto the enemy's thing, and that can be quite useful. There we go. Thank you, Samantha. You're quite helpful. And then, after decoy, there is flare. Pretty much like it sounds. There we go. Shoots out. Bright light. Can blind people. Useful. And then the final one, which is the closest thing to a lethal grenade that we have, is called EMP. And this is essentially a bit like a flashbang. There we go. See how they are kind of crackling all over? Well, one thing that you've probably noticed is, why is there sound in space? And the game's actually answered it, believe it or not. You might not have heard it, but it was there at the beginning of the round. When you go in, it mentions that it is simulating the sounds, and it's going ahead and putting the heads-up display. Well, don't believe me? Well, there's a button for that. This is called silent running. You move less slowly, but your jets are, not as loud. And you can only kind of hear, like, that bass thrum and such. And you don't show up. And what EMP does is it actually throws the enemy into that silent running mode, whether they want it or not. Which is nice. And it can really screw someone up. But it's a lot better on when you're playing with humans because, stealth tactics really work. And the light of your jets is also managing that is a big part of the human metagame. But with bots, bots. But the EMP can knock someone into silent running. And yes, you can aim down sights, though. Frankly, why would you? Most of the time. Haha, headshot! Oh, Samantha. Let's see if we can't go ahead and show you one of the other guns. And the guns in the game are pretty much like you think they are. There's the railgun, which is a sniper rifle. Machine gun, light machine gun, assault rifle, submachine gun, and shotgun. We're gonna go ahead and use the machine gun on our next life. Assuming we still have time, there's only 1:30 left in here, so probably not gonna make it. Other gameplay tendencies here. Oh, right. What I just did is boosted, which you have, it's your sprint key. And because of the way that this is set up, there is a top speed that your jetpack achieves. It's not like a fully Newtonian model, or, this is not Kerbal Space Program, the shooter. And nothing like not Orbiter or anything similar. Oops, I think I just took out one of my own guys. But, yeah, so it'll let you sprint ahead, and when you're at that maximum speed, you stay with it. And you can continue flying the other way, or, So thrust and movement are not always one and the same in this game, which is nice. It's very interesting. And as you can see, I often roll and such. And depending on how you go ahead and... oh dear... approach something, the enemy's more likely to hit you in the head or not. Okay, looks like we're not going to get to try out a new one this game, but I'll show you another map. But yeah, it's a really interesting game. I enjoyed a great deal. So yeah, we'll go ahead and do another map, one that's a little closer to Earth rather than one that's so far out there. Now, the game does have multiple modes to go in. I normally play in Skirmish, because, well, frankly, I'm just doing this to fight against bots, and that's kind of how it goes. That was Flip Side. One of my favorites is the Ark, which you're pretty much seeing right here. That's the Ark is the kind of name for the big old gathering of space rocks that are now orbiting around the Earth. Yay, we've got a ring system. Boo, it, is going to be horrible for all us here. You can see that I've got this on very easy, because the bots in this game can actually be lethally accurate if you push it up to the high one, and I'm trying to commentate at the moment. Yes, hate mail. But we'll go ahead and go to the ISS, which is one of the more man-made ones. It's also got some of the rocks in it. So, actually, no. We'll go to Deadeye. Again, the skirmish mode, mostly because with humans you can really get some fighting back and forth, but yeah, this way, eh. But the idea here with Deadeye is that it's a microwave communication dish that actually, is kind of still together with the moon, and it went flying up into space, and now you're fighting over it. Because there's logs of the MMC operations, so the ISA wants to get them, and the two are fighting over them. Each one of these kind of has a story of there's a destroyed space hospital, I believe that's 10-star, yeah, all sorts of different stuff. It's a lot of fun. Now, one of the things that you might notice as I mouse over these is, for assault rifle, submachine gun, and shotgun, it's got something called suit integration on. So they're accurate in flight. You don't get a bonus when you're standing on a surface. With the railgun, the sniper, and the machine gun, you do get a bonus in accuracy and controllability when you're on a surface. Despite this, the machine gun's a little overpowered. You'll see what I mean. I can use it in flight pretty well, because, well, here. On the ground, I can go ahead and just send out a hail of fire that's decently well aimed, and as you can see, I pretty much tore him to shreds. Even to the point of, headshots at that distance, yada yada. Pure luck, but there you go. And I've got 120 rounds in this thing. So, go ahead and put a few more rounds downrange, see if we can't, and as you can see, you do get hit markers on this sort of thing. Okay, so we got him, right? Whoa. Adolf, buddy, pal. But the trick is that if you just burst the machine gun while you're flying, it's, ridiculously powerful anyway. It, does damage like the assault rifle. It's got a larger clip. Actually, I think it does more damage. So yeah, you kind of got to question why you'd use the assault rifle when this thing's in the game. Now, mind you, there is the advantage in reload time on the assault rifle, and a 60-round clip's nothing to sneeze at, but this thing's got double the reload, and then you got the pistol. So yeah, you can do quite well with this thing. But as you can see, this is a little bit more out into open space. You've got a piece over here. Actually, in the objective modes, there's one objective up here. There's one in the actual hole right there, which is actually a lot of fun to defend. You'll, toss an ice in there, and when the enemy are thrusting in to get at you, you have to defend here and here at the same time, and shotguns absolutely rule in that situation. I've done a little bit of play back when this was more heavily played or with friends and such. I can't let go of this game, though. I love it way too much. One, it's beautiful as far as I'm concerned. It's just a very pretty game that had a really, really intriguing concept. And the other reason why I won't get rid of it, is because of the fact that, very simply, die. This thing is the best practice FPS that I have ever run across. Yeah, bar none. The trick is with this game that I mentioned earlier that the first build had a hit scan gun. Well, they got rid of that. It's actually firing a projectile now. And your movement, the enemy movement, actually affect where it goes. So you have to calculate lead And ooh, tank shot, nice. You have to calculate lead and figure out exactly where the bullets are going to go, where he's going, how they're turning, all that kind of stuff in free flight at all times. Or you can, sit and make it very, very simple on one end of the equation, and it's not going to be that good for you because, well, the enemy's going to take advantage of the fact that you're mostly a stationary target. Which is part of the reason why you don't see me actually, sitting and hosing out a bunch of fully auto fire with this thing. It does have a pretty wicked bloom on the crosshairs when you do fire at full auto in flight here. Let's see if I can give it a good go. Here we go. As you can see. I mean, I'm hitting, but that's only because I'm firing so much of it. But it settles down pretty quickly, and ta-da! It's still very accurate as, its initial shots, so doesn't mean that you can't use it. Now, it does have regenerating health, to a certain extent. You'll only regenerate partial amounts of health. Oh, there's the railgun at work. Let's see. Forgot to set it for a different one. But yeah, the railgun is probably the least fun weapon in the game. I'll give it a shot for you guys, but honestly, I just don't care for it that much. You really need to be using it as a stationary weapon. In flight, it is just... oh, God. You can't make it work. Well, I'm sure that you can. And I'll give it a go, just to, prove my own dumb self wrong, but... But a lot of that kind of thing happens to you when you use that thing. Come on, enemies. But as you can see, this gun is just almost ridiculously overpowered, in my opinion. The assault rifle just isn't controllable on full auto, so it's not worth it. And that is another thing that happens to you a lot if you go ahead and start sniping. So you end up really playing a lot of pistol gameplay, which is fun, and I kind of wish that there was a primary weapon that essentially worked on its concept. Come on. There we go. Okay, so I should be able to go ahead and show you the railgun now. Now, like I said, the railgun, you want to be sitting still when you're using it. There's a couple of ways to do that. One is there's a swoop key, which, just puts you there. The other way is you figure out, okay, I'm flying like this. I want to be here, and then you thrust down. And that is generally a lot less trouble. Now, you can go ahead and, do the whole sniper thing, but it could be a lot easier. The thing bounces around even when you're not free-flying, and yep, there you go. Anyone with a decent close combat weapon, or even decent mid-range weapon, is probably going to get you. I'm going to try and use this thing in free flight, but as you can see, the actual bloom on the crosshairs is ridiculous, and I'm not trying to... I'm trying very hard to actually put this on target, but it just goes all around. So, like I said, as a sniper, you end up using this thing a lot. And I would have liked a, stronger, harder-hitting semi-auto gun. I don't know. I like them. They're fun. But we'll go ahead, and the next one we'll try out will be the submachine gun. Now, if you want to spray and pray, if you just want to be flying around and just shoot, it's kind of the gun for you. Hey, dude. Let me simplify this for you. As you can see, the bots are kind of stupid about what they're firing at. Come on. I'm trying to make this as easy as possible for this dude. There we go. Good rhino. Okay, so here's the submachine gun. You know, it's essentially... I want to just, you know, open up on someone. I don't like it that much, though. I've seen some people get really good results with it. I find that it kind of runs into the issue of being not as good as the assault rifle, which is already not as good as the machine gun, and then also has the issue of, you know, it is just straight overpowered by the shotgun in the close range fight where it's supposed to be neither fish nor fowl. On the other hand, my opinion is this thing looks cool, and I love the hollow sight that it's got going on there. So I give it a little bit of time, and it can be used at a longer range, which, you know, explicitly the at least if your target's obliging. As you can see there, not very easily at long range, but it can be used for a longer range style of gameplay. You're not going to want to. The other issue I have with it is it's kind of underpowered bullet for bullet. On the other hand, it's also one of the very few that you really want, along with the machine gun, that you really, truly need to aim down sights for. Aiming down sights in this game really more gives you a kind of concept of zooming rather than really changing the accuracy that much, at least I believe. I could be entirely wrong about this, but I know that a lot of people pretty much never look down sights in this game. I do because I've got habits from other shooters. Who wants a big axe to the face? But yeah, I love this game. It's a lot of fun, it's fast-paced, it really keeps you thinking. And like I said, it's a wonderful practice first-person shooter. For those of you who also follow some of the other people that, you know, I do work with, Duha, Tenma, and Morath, we'll sometimes play, you know, some Left 4 Dead 2. Well, I will always, you know, ask to have a little bit of practice time first. What I mean is I'm playing a round or two of this because it gives me a wonderful sense of where things are going, how to, you know, keep all the different... Oh, that was the NPR grenade, by the way, folks. It gives me a good idea of, you know, exactly what's going on. I track much better with it, and I'm actually... I'm not that good at Left 4 Dead, but one thing I can do is dance with hunters. The story goes that I decided to go ahead and play this before a round of Left 4 Dead 2. And I guarantee you, if you do this, you will do this too. But yeah, I played it before a round of Left 4 Dead 2, and pretty early on, when we still had, like, Tier 1 weapons, I was attacked by a hunter, and the rest of the party was fending off other stuff, and, you know, I just was dancing back and forth with it, dodging it. The others looked over at me and looked at this hunter, which just continually kept on pouncing after me, unable to actually get to me, and I suppose that... Is that supposed to be the moon? I don't know. But yeah, it was trying to get to me, and it just couldn't. And they characterized it as dancing with a hunter. Eventually I smacked it in the face and shot it. But yeah, I directly attribute, you know, any moment of greatness that I have in Left 4 Dead 2 to this game. Going ahead and having to think about your lead and which way he's going, which way you're going, what that's going to mean to the projectiles coming out of your gun. It's just such wonderful practice. It's really, really good to have going on. I highly recommend this game. Not to mention, you know, I want more people to be playing it, so, you know, glory days. When, you know, you got a bunch of humans who play it and are much smarter than these bots. Don't get me wrong, I love the bots. They give me a good deal of fun. But It's not quite the same thing. But even with that, I still heartily recommend this game. Yeah, for a game by a bunch of people whose jobs initially were to make benchmarking software, because that's what FutureMark originally did. The people who made this, yeah, I could not believe what happened here. That's also part of the reason it's so pretty. It's an older game, mind you, but yeah, no, this game, I can't say enough good things about it. It's a great deal of fun. I wish more people did play this, which saddens me. But even if I never play this again against another human opponent, I will keep this on my computer. I will have fun with this. It is really one of those games that I think that it's just a criminal crying shame that it never got as much attention as it deserved. Because, I remember when this game came to my mind, Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2 came out. And I don't know if you remember back then, but there was a... They had a trailer where it looked like, it was the part where, you are an ISS astronaut and you die, and it's just because you saw a nuke detonate, and it was a worthless moment in the game that just looked really, really pretty. And I wanted a game that let me, go ahead and fight and, give me zero gravity, give me a jetpack. I don't know if people remember the James Bond film Moonraker. This is the astronaut-to-astronaut fight that was honestly one of the few decent things in that movie. Except it's really what's going on here. It's a great competitive shooter. I have so much fun on it. It's generally not too pricey. With most Steam sales, you can find this one, and it'll be, doable. I'm going to go ahead and show you a different mode. I'm going to put it onto, I believe, Assault is the one I want. And it's going to be on ISS, which is a closer to Earth one. And we'll go ahead and finish out with that. But yes, this game it's not overly large. It takes up some space. It is not the best optimized thing around. And it does need a pretty good PC to run it at full specs. If I crank it up all the way, it slows down to the 20 to 30 range, FPS-wise. But realistically speaking, with almost anything that a person's likely to be gaming on these days, you should be able to run it. Now, I think that the price on this one is $20, but it's almost always on sale for 75% off with Steam sales. And you'll still find this one as a game that pops up on sales. Shattered Horizon, I totally suggest that you go for it. Yeah. This is a different one of the game modes, and you have to, take and hold the control points. One of them, Battle, you just take it and hold it, and that's all there is to it. This one's a little different because of the fact that you do it, one team's assaulting, one team is defending. Ooh, dearie me. One team's assaulting, one team's defending, and you have to plow through them in order rather than all of them being up for grabs, and you need to try and get to them best you can. Now, the gameplay in this one, you'll notice, compared to the skirmish that we were earlier having, really gets more concentrated because of the fact that, control point, need to get to it. And, this is probably going to go pretty easily for us, but it gives you a good idea. And this is where the ice grenades, for example, are much more useful, because suddenly the enemy has to come in and get to you, and you can spot them out by the drive flare, and that helps out a great deal. So, yeah, there we go. As you can see, you can actually spot out them. Also, on the defensive side, MPR is great for knocking, or even on the offensive side, if there's a strong point, you can shoot one into there and everyone gets knocked flying, and it's very useful for that. In fact, I probably should be using a shotgun for this game mode. This is probably going to go very fast. But yeah, as you can see, there's the Earth, which is nice and pretty, and this is supposed to be like a different version of the ISS, the International Space Station, one that's been built up over the years. Oh, dearie me. But yeah, you go ahead and you fight your way through. And you try and hold the control points, and I don't know, this game just, the actual level design, just, it's so much fun, it's so interesting, and because of the fact that it's free flight and everything, you don't have to approach it in the same way, and that's, yeah, such a strength in my mind. Well, that didn't go so well. Should have laid down the ice earlier. But yeah, I don't know, folks. This is a game that I still have a hard time believing didn't catch on. But, you know, that's how it goes. It wasn't by a big studio. And that earlier thing that I said about Modern Warfare 2, apparently Call of Duty Ghosts is going to be giving us zero-G combat. But I wonder if it's even going to be as good as this. Because, you know, these guys did it so well. Whoa. I mean, people talk about wanting innovation in their games. Here's an example. This thing, like I said, it came to my mind, and that was when it, I believe, got switched over to the second version. You know, in the era of Modern Warfare 2, you know, so we've had, what, Modern Warfare 3 and Black Ops 2 since then. And still fresh, still interesting, gives you a really, really different experience. Here, let's try and do this right. Sorry about the little bit of dead air there, folks, but I was trying to make sure that got this right. Which, of course, I won't. Get an ice out here. There we go. Round one. And then, of course, it flips back over and you have to defend against the other side. But, yeah. Go ahead and flip over to shotgun for my next life if we need one. Yeah, folks, give this a shot. It's, if you like multiplayer shooters, if you like space, if you like a game that's just different than the normal, I don't know what I can do, you know, other to say than this game has been around since forever, and, well, not forever, but it's been around, and it's been giving us a really unique, interesting experience that challenges the mind, really requires a great deal of skill in how you go ahead and approach it. and I think that it's a crying shame that no one plays it anymore. I would love to see other people come back and join me in this game. I would love to see people just get this game and play it single player. I would love to see a sequel. Um, this thing is easily one of those reasons why I started Let's Give It a Shot. Um, just the concept of going ahead and trying something old, trying something that you picked up because it was on sale and it looked interesting. This game, in many ways, it exemplifies that to me. Because that's what it was to me. I saw this game that was on sale for $5, and I tried it, and I fell in love with it. It's got an interesting movement system. The shooting's pretty good. I'm not going to say that it's the most amazing thing ever, but with the combination of trying to figure out exactly what's going on with it, it becomes just so much better. The idea of a bunch of tactical grenades but no lethal grenades, I think, was a brilliant move on their part. It's got a really hard to pull off melee kill that rewards you for doing it, and the community, such as it was very big on, near the end of the matches, just going into this wonderful frenzy of people flying back and forth trying to hit each other with these giant serrated axes. It's astronauts with guns. Please tell me that I'm not the only one who thinks that that's unbearably cool, because it makes me very sad if I am. And unfortunately, when you consider how the game sold and how it's no longer being played, I think that might be true. So, I don't know, folks. It might be kind of against the idea of let's give it a shot, because, I knew exactly what I was going to say with this one. Give it a shot. Totally give it a shot. It's so much fun. I cannot imagine you not liking this game. It's just too good, too much fun. Well, if you've got similar taste to me. But on the flip side, like I said, it's also the reason why I went ahead and started this series, because I want people to, find those gems, find the things in the Steam catalog that, even if they're not at their, once peak of glory, because, like I said, you're not going to be able to find the multiplayer match that you would otherwise in this. If you got into this during its heyday, it'd be, something else entirely. But right now, it's really a bot game, and you kind of got to deal with that. But, oh boy, what a bot game. And you can see the glory of where it was. And, it's kind of my hope that, if nothing else, that, maybe some people will see this, and they'll decide to try it again, and maybe the community will be restarted. It won't be like it was. It won't be, still being supported and updated and all sorts of new things. But maybe some people will have fun with this, and maybe we'll see something else like it, or something even more interesting. God forbid. I don't know what it could be. But, yeah, games like this remind me that there is still innovation, and we do need to go looking for it. And occasionally, we need to look through that old Steam catalog. What was on good old games? Try something old. Because even an old game can be a great deal of fun, even if you don't remember it. Maybe it got criminally overlooked by time. And that's what I think happened to this one. Anyway, folks, we're almost done here. My name's Colonel the Frog. I hope you've enjoyed this little video and this retrospect into a game that I think was taken before its time, I suppose you could say. And I hope that you'll give it a shot. The game is Shattered Horizon. You can find it on Steam. It often runs for $5 at 75% off. And you should be able to run this thing without too much trouble if you've got a gaming PC. As I always say, my name's Colonel the Frog. I'm glad I gave this thing a shot. I think you should too.